This is the second chart in the Monday Moon Message Moon and Writing series. And this one is on Madeleine, if I'm saying her name correctly. She was an author who had a huge impact on me as a child when I read her now famous book, A Wrinkle in Time. So I will show you how her chart fits the conditions to be an author according to the Jaimini technique. It's a Vedic astrology technique. Okay, first of all, we look and see, okay, the moon is her self-producer planet, and it is in a Venus sign. So the first condition is the moon needs to be with, aspected by, or ruled by either Venus, Jupiter, or Mercury for a person to be a writer. Okay, so we see right here, it's in Libra. It's ruled by Venus. The second condition is the third house, which is the house of writing, the actual act of writing, and the hard work of writing. The planet that rules that also needs to be connected either to the Atmakaraka or something called the Pada, which is the foot of the ascendant, or the Upapada, the foot of the 10th house. Okay, so the third house is ruled by Mars. And we see here Mars is ruled by Saturn. So we go over to Saturn, and Saturn is aspecting the moon. Now these are the Jaimini aspects, which means that the fixed signs, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio, aspect only the cardinal or movable signs, Libra, Cancer, Aries, and Capricorn, except they can't aspect each other when they're right next to each other. So Libra cannot aspect Scorpio, and Scorpio cannot aspect Libra. Okay, so here we are, the third house lord Mars, which is exalted, as we see in the sign of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, which is aspecting the moon. So we only had to take that through one dispositor. Dispositor means one ruler in order to get an aspect to the moon. Okay, then the next condition is the fifth house needs to be involved. It's the house of creativity. And we see here the fifth house is in Capricorn, so it's ruled by Saturn. So we go back over here again. Here's Saturn aspecting the moon. So she meets that condition as well. And then we need the ninth house, the house of teaching and telling tales, to be involved. And we see here the ninth house is ruled by Taurus. And not only does the moon aspect the ninth house, because the moon's in a movable cardinal sign Libra, aspecting the fixed sign of Taurus, but the lord of the ninth is Venus, and Venus is ruled by Jupiter, we see here, which is ruled by the moon. So this time we had to go through two dispositors, and we can't go more than two. So here we see she meets all the criteria for being an author. Now here's something else that I found exciting. I was discussing what author to do a video on today with my husband, and he recommended Madeleine because he knows she's one of my very favorite authors. And I said to him then, I said, wow, look at that. She's already been gone for a long time, but now they're making a movie, the Disney movie, of her book, A Wrinkle in Time. I bet you that her Atmakaraka is in the sign of Gemini in the Navamsha. So this afternoon, I looked up her chart, and look at this. Her Atmakaraka moon is in the sign of Gemini. Now, what that means is lasting fame, long-lasting fame, even after a person has left this planet whatever work they've done in the world continues to be enjoyed and to benefit the world in some way. And here again we see the moon with Venus. It's ruled by Mercury and aspected by Mercury too. So again, there's that writer, the writer signature. And Venus, I've noticed, is related to poetry, science fiction, science fantasy, and anything where you need to be able to read between the lines, or to quote Jaimini, to see meaning where there is none. Venus is also one of the planets that rules science. It's one of the Brahmin planets, with Jupiter being the other one. And we see her moon is ruled by Venus. And here in the Navamsha, it's with Venus. And many of her books, including her children's books, has science basically right in the middle of the whole thing. I remember one scene that really stood out in my mind is Meg's mother, I believe it was, made beef stew on a Bunsen burner in the lab. And as we see here, her Venus is with Rahu. Rahu is technology, very, very far-reaching technology, very far into the future. And then Mercury is like the natural planet of writing, and it's with Venus. And Mercury helps Venus quite a bit. When you have these two together, it often indicates a person of talent or skill, either in writing or drawing or music or something along those lines. Though the moon needs to be involved too for it to be writing and music. So I just wanted to show you how the planets show up in her writing. So there's the Wrinkle in Time, and there's a whole series of children's books. She's also written for adults, and I've read her adult books too, and they're wonderful. So I highly recommend Madeleine's work. And she has, there's a movie out, I think it's out now, for her, based on her book, A Wrinkle in Time. So next time I will do another author's chart. And if there's somebody in particular you'd really like to know about, an author that you love, then leave a comment below. Let me know. I'll look it up, I'll find the chart, and I'll do that for you. This is Karen White of Divine Time Astrology. Until next week.